Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Stormworks. When I last left you guys in Stormworks, I was looking, well, pretty desperately for a new base. Because, as it happened, the ship was running out of fuel and I had a couple of guys to drop off. I did find a hospital and I did find a base. And this is it. This is one of the terminals that also happens to have, and you can see it slightly over there in the distance, a train yard. And that's really nice, because that train yard is going to allow me to make some extra money. The last time that I showed you guys the map, we were pretty close here, I think, Terminal Komodo. And we also got the Lighthouse OB Hospital. That's where I dropped off the guys that were looking to get to a hospital. You don't need to drop them off at a specific hospital, any hospital will do. Now, what I have as an option over here is to start transferring cargo. Because we not only have the cargo over here at Spycakes, but we also have a cargo terminal over here, Komodo Freight Terminal. And I don't think this one requires any, but we can, if we discover it far enough, take the train yard, or just the rails, the tracks, and go either all the way to the Arctic, which is a long way off, or see if I can get back to my other base, the North Harbor. That's the Sawyer North Freight Terminal. Now there are a bunch of containers out here, a bunch of storage crates, that do need to go all the way to one of the container terminals. I'm looking for Sawyer North Freight Terminal. And these things are valuable. That's 16k that you can get. 16k, Sawyer South. Okay, that's the wrong one then. Over here, BVG. Sawyer South, 7,000. Sawyer North, 9,000. Okay, this is going to require a few things. One, I'm going to require trains to get from here all the way back to the Sawyers. Two, I'm going to require a vehicle that's capable of lifting these things up and putting them on said train. And three, I'll need to do a bunch of discovering, just probably using a train, to get all the way over back to the Sawyer terminal. Now I have 70,000 in store, so I have a decent amount of cash, and I have 46 research points. So what I'm going to do is sleep on it. Let's see, there's my little building. I'm going to sleep on it while I research trains. And once the trains are researched, I'm going to be building a train. I'll also have to build, and it's probably not going to be very special, I'll have to build a vehicle capable of getting those containers lifted onto a train. There's a lot of research that needs done and a lot of engineering challenges to overcome. First up, heavy land vehicles for 20 points. That's what I require to get trains in the first place. Trains themselves require another 3 points, and I'm currently researching compact mechanics. So, time to sleep on it. If there is a mission, I might pick it up, depending on exactly where it happens. Oh, this is not too far. A vehicle has gone missing without an exact location. Ideally, I would do this with a helo, because it could very well be on the island. And I don't really fancy just going around in circles on the island for hours, hoping that at some point I'll run into that thing. Not doing that. Heavy land vehicles. Continue on with the research. Oh, sorry, with the research, so basically with sleeping. Another issue with this particular terminal is that there is not a really good way of getting people to the hospital quickly. You can drive on these train tracks with a car. It's not terribly easy. So having a train that can access the train tracks and a vehicle on top of the train, maybe that'll work. But that again will require a lot of engineering. A road vehicle incident has been reported. Rescue one casualty near the Old Arnold Quarry to a hospital. So the guy needs to go from over here to over there. How far is that hospital away? 5.7 clicks. No, I'm sorry. One guy, and this is going to sound harsh. One guy's not worth it. One guy means that I'll only make a little bit of money. I will only make, what is it? 2,000 from the guy. Plus maybe 2 research points. So it's, I hate to break it to him, but it's not worth my time. Okay, what else would be useful for trains? Electrics, just so that I can get a medium electric battery and put that on the vehicle that I'll need to get to load stuff onto the train. So probably electrics, docking doors, not really. Helicopters, not really. Helicopters. Basic logic, buttons, custom doors, decorations, no. Rescue equipment, no. Sonar equipment and stuff like that, no. Let's just go for electrics. We can research. Once that's done, I'll start engineering. I don't really have a good engine for the train. So it'll sort of have to do with probably a large engine. Which is a bit of overkill. But you know what? First I'm going to try and get a vehicle to pick up these crates. It's going to be a really weird vehicle to use, probably. Oh, another Sawyer North. Good. It'll probably be a really weird vehicle to use, because I need to bring in a vehicle that is only as wide as the train terminal here. The train building. It was pretty limited. This building is designed to build trains. And I'm asking it to build something entirely different. This is... This is going to get weird. This is as wide as I can make that vehicle. And wheels tend to add up pretty quick. So there is another option. And that is to give it... Oh, that would be a lot of weird engineering. It would mean that this is no longer the front, that this is the front. I can probably get away with something really weird. And it might actually help with the stability of the vehicle as well. Okay, let's see what I can dig up. I want wheels. We're going to go with the 3x3 wheels. That should be plenty. I'm going to do these individually. I want this one to turn that way. And this one... No. Wheels always confuse the heck out of me. Let's see. Power. Projected forward. The power's going the wrong way. No, I can adjust the steering. I cannot really adjust the power that easily. Another one here. Power producing the wrong way. Forward. Although, hold on. If this is going to be... Let me put it on a seat just to make it a bit easier. A driver's seat will do. So this is going to be the way that the vehicle is positioned. I'll also need a bit of an engineering section, if that's the right term for it, to ensure that it has power to drive the wheels. And I'll need a system that can lift containers. It's going to be a really weird vehicle. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks here. So this one is surplus. Surplus to requirements. The real challenge is probably going to be to drive this thing out of the vehicle, or out of the vehicle bay in the first place. I'm not even sure if that can get done. Right. Wheels. There's probably a way easier way to do it, but I don't really see it. What I still don't really get about Stormworks is why wheels are 200 a pop. Whereas if I want to get a large engine, I'm also paying 200 a pop. You'd say that an engine is a hell of a lot more expensive than a wheel. But apparently the game goes, nah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. That's fine. Let's see, if I turn it... Yeah, I'm going to give the rear wheels propulsion. So these things it doesn't really matter for these. So long as they're all steering in the right direction. I'm not even sure if they have enough clearance here. Here and... Oop, that's the whole wheel. Here and here. Now, I have never done a transport of containers. So I'm not even sure how well that's going to work and if it is worth my time at all. But I quite like the engineering challenge. So that's why I'm doing it. Here I'll need a couple of pipes. It's going to require a straight pipe here, a straight pipe there, and then a T-piece. Now, since this is a vehicle that I will very, very regularly despawn, the only real consideration that I have for it is that I want it to be easy to use. And that's why I went with the electrics, so that I can simply plonk on a couple of electric batteries and a couple of electric motors, and that should be plenty. Okay, this one, A and D, that is steering, 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 and steering. Let's see. This is the Weirdmobile, because I really don't have another way to phrase this thing. There we go. Okay, the wheels do spin, or rather turn. I might just be able to drive this thing to where it needs to go. There is also the potential to just rotate the whole thing. But that would need a whole other engineering deck. What I'm thinking is if I use a linear track base and push out another set of wheels... Unless I'm just making this way too complex. But I'm not sure how much wheelbase I need to pick up a container. That's the thing. I'm not sure how much wheelbase I need. Let's see. If I just put on a couple of large batteries, or medium batteries in this case, one here and one here, and then very straightforward, an angle there, and an angle there. Make sure that's connected. Like here and like here. And then a couple of electric motors. Just simple forward moving electric motors. That's all that I need. W and S is going to control the motors. And the power is very, very simple. Let's set up one dial to see how much power the batteries still have. Because then I can see how much power I might need. Like whether this is enough battery power. This makes the vehicle 5.5K rounded up. So that's pretty decent. I can live with that. Charge, done. There she is. The Weirdmobile. Please don't be too wide. Yeah, it fits. It fits. Power is 99%. So with this, I could now drive up to a container, pick it up, and deliver it to the train yard, to then figure out where it needs to go. And when I'm tired of this vehicle, or when the batteries are empty, I just respawn it. It's pretty easy. But now comes the more interesting part. Now I need to figure out a system to lift containers. The containers have 4 anchor points on top. So in order to properly hoist it, I would need to have something that can elevate up and down. Possibly back and forward as well. And that has a lot of anchor points. That is a lot of requirements. Orient, motion of 0.25 degree turn in both directions. Okay. Let's set these up next to the batteries. Make sure they're pointing the same way. Like that. Just kind of spitballing here. Maybe this works, maybe it doesn't. There are probably way more effective, way more beautiful units out there that can do exactly what I need this thing to do. But I find it to be more interesting if you just engineer the whole thing yourself. Can I figure out something that will do what needs doing? In my case, probably, but it's going to take a bit of trial and error. I will need probably 4 anchor lines, 4 rope anchors. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that also means I need 4 ropes. Rope here. I still have a bit of space here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I need to be able to control these things. Let's first ensure they have power. The ropes don't need to get power. This will require up and down. Rotation target and rotation target. Let's see if it works. Now the game in one of the updates patched itself, or rather in one of the patches it made so that it takes a bit longer for stuff like this to... Oh, it automatically levels again. No, that's not the plan. It compresses the save file, and that's less than ideal. Because when it compresses the save file, it seems to take a bit more time saving. I'm not sure if this whole thing is going to work. Because what I'm doing now is sort of lifting the container sideways. And I would need to pick it up and bring it over to a train that'll be waiting for it. I'm not too big of a fan. Let's remove this. I think it has some merit, but I need to do it in a different fashion. I need to ensure that it's working off of the vehicle base here. So that's the vehicle base. Remove that. Put that thing as far back as possible. I need something that extends this way. Looks over the container, pulls it up, and then pulls back. So I need to have 2 axes of movement. One that moves up, and one that moves that way. Not necessarily in that order. Pistons. Here we go. Pneumatic pistons. Those things get really tall. That's fine. Yeah. Target position is just a number. Okay. And then I actually need to do the same thing here, if I'm not mistaken. So one there and one there. Just make sure that this is the same block. Merge. This should be the same as that. And then this is going to push out the container carrying device, I guess you want to call it. Connect that. Okay, ensure everything has power. It has happened to me a few times that I forgot to power stuff. Okay, now we're going to use a couple of throttles. So I'll have one throttle over... you know what? Let's move that battery elsewhere. Control system, I'll have one over here and one there. And this one is going to control the up-down motion. And this one is going to control the outward motion. Need to label that. Outward. And this will be the up/down. I think I removed my main battery, didn't I? Yeah. Lovely. Alright, give me another battery. Connect everything back up, including the cables to the ropes, which I don't really need. But why not? Let's see if this thing works. Uh-oh. I might have one problem. The vehicle's probably too wide to leave the bay now. Okay, now it's extending. Move forward a bit. Yeah, there we go. Now I have it fully raised. And now I need to move it outward. And there she goes. Okay, so that works. Put it back in. And now see if I can fit out the door. I don't fucking think so. Hey, that was simple. That was pretty simple. Okay, let's drive up to a container. Any container, and see if I'm at a decent width for this thing. Probably one of the weirdest makeshift cranes I've seen. The height's good. The height's good. The width needs to be increased, though. That's the thing. The width needs to be increased. Okay. Let me check what exact measurements those things have. Okay, as it turns out, the containers have a width of 11 by 11 by 29. So this needs to be 29 blocks, and it's currently 26. So I need to expand 2 more here, and 1 more there, which means it's going to be off-center. So be it. And then it needs to be by 11. This is 8. Not great, but maybe good enough for what I needed to do. Let's see if this will connect. And then a couple of anchors. There, 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 and... whoop, not there. Here. I'll probably also need some sort of ladder vehicle to be able to get up to the container. Otherwise, I might not be able to tie the rope anchors on. And I could lower the whole installation, but I'm not sure if that's beneficial. Okay, if I take one of the ropes now... Oh, I still carry a hose. Great. Equipment. I need an empty, large storage locker. Yeah, that can go right behind the seat. Store that. Take the rope. I can connect the rope, and I can probably make it to the container. As short as possible. Let's try this. I'm really curious to see if this is going to play out as well as I hope that it does. Oh. Yeah. Small thing. Now that it is wider... now it won't fit out the door. Now she won't fit out the door. Oh, man. Okay. I see how it is. If I want to get this thing out the door, I'll just have to get a couple of systems on here that will allow me to push the vehicle off the floor and install more wheels. Only. There is an alternative option, which is that I don't use 4 connectors, but just basically 1. Just basically 1 down the center. Does this thing have a center? 15, yeah, so the center's over there. I'm not sure if you can tie more than one anchor to, or more than one rope to one rope anchor. Let's test that theory. So we're going to take a couple of ropes. Inventory full. Yeah, okay, listen to you here. You're going to connect to this. That's one. We're going to take another rope. Connect from here to there. Yes, that works. So I only need one. That's nice. Okay, store that rope. You can stay. So now, arguably, I should be able to make it out of the bay again. Right? Unfortunately, it's getting dark. This thing has 0 lights on it. I might have to just sleep till morning. Because I don't want to be doing this thing in the dark. At all. Yeah, it's definitely getting dark. Okay, you're going to stay here for the night. And I'll be over there if you need me. Sleeping. Waiting for daylight. Now, I'm philosophizing that at some point I'll need to get all of these things over to the Sawyer, or, well, at least to any of the terminals anyway. I might just not do it with the train. I might do it with a helicopter at some point. Is that something I need to address? Yeah, officially it is, but I'm not going to. Way too busy engineering shit. Okay, welcome back to daylight-ish. This one needs to go, right? Yes, it's worth 10,000 to the Sawyer south. Oh, hold on, south. I needed to go north. Yeah, north freight terminal. Hello? BVG. You? Sawyer south. Sawyer north. That one it is. So that is that container. Feels like I've kind of built an inverted forklift, if that makes sense. Sawyer north, check. Rope. From here to here. Click. Yeah, we have one connected. Next rope. Equip. From this rope, anchor, that is, to get over here. I can barely see my own rope anchor. There. 2. Next rope. From here to there. Forest fire. Oh. Right. Well, I don't really feel like I have any kind of tech that can deal with that. It is a problem that I've never encountered. Forest fires. I mean, I know they've been in the game, but I just never had a mission like that. Right, and now this one. Yes, attach. There we go, to here. Okay, and now for the big test. Can you lift it? No. You fucking can't. My ropes are too long. Okay. My ropes are too long. Okay, lower that. How do I make these things shorter, these ropes? Because they need to be as short as possible, but I cannot properly get up on the container. The container does sort of shift, it seems. It weighs enough for 2,500 units. Hold on. If I make this thing really heavy, I don't believe the game ever tells you how heavy or how light a vehicle is. But I imagine that a forklift is going to be a pretty heavy vehicle anyway. So, let's see what happens if I make this thing heavier. I know my center of gravity probably isn't ideal. But we'll just have to go and make it up as we move along. At the bay again. I'm glad that still fits. There is a fairly high likelihood that by next week I'll have engineered a completely different design. And now you probably know why. Because this is not necessarily working. At least I'm having fun. And I hope that you guys are, at this point, maybe bent over your keyboard laughing your asses off at this hideous contraption that I've managed to devise. It was that hope container, right? Yeah. Just casually roll it down the hill. I like how the developers have introduced a bunch of engineering challenges just by saying, hey, this container needs to go there. How you do it is up to you. Good luck. That's pretty much the extent of it. This needs to go there. Find a way. Right. Okay, I'm now going to try and extending this thing first. So the outward one. That's the up or down. Outward. Maybe that's going to make it a little easier to get... Oh, no. I need to set up a key for the brakes for this one. If all else fails, I can always try to just bulldozer my way. Just push the thing over. Attach the rope. Nah. Not even sure I can find the connector point now. Ah, crap. I can almost see it. Come on. Be nice. There. Next rope. Equip. From here to here, if you will. Please. Come on. Show me the rope anchor. Right. So I cannot see it if I'm looking at it, but I can perfectly see it if I'm looking through it. If I'm clipping through the container. Stormworks logic strikes again. Click. And I need one more rope. Don't make me clip through my own vehicle, please. Don't be like that. I still need to do this one, I think. From here to there. Okay, so now the vehicle's a lot heavier. It still just doesn't give a shit. Do I need more pistons? Is that the problem? Or is the vehicle just not heavy enough? Probably a mix of both. Probably a mix of both. I think I'm going to have to head over to the Steam Workshop and get some inspiration. Because I'm not sure if I can find an engineering problem or an engineering fix to this problem myself. Especially considering that these things are heavy. Really, really heavy. Okay. Let me check out the Steam Workshop. Alright, a small visit to the workshop got me this beautiful crane. It is far more advanced than what I was ever going to be able to create. And it is perfectly capable of lifting these containers. It is definitely a really nice project. I'll link it down below in the description because it is definitely worthy of that. And it was created by Watchdog. So Watchdog, thank you very much. You are a far better crane builder than I can ever hope to be. This thing has a couple of different modes of operation, or rather a couple of different control keys. You can extend the crane and reduce the, or retract the crane. You can, of course, move it up and down. You can move the stack left and right, although I'm not exactly sure what that does. Oh, that turns the whole wheels, right. So that means that I can move the forklift back left and back right, which is nice. And finally, it actually fits inside this spawn bay over here. Not in its current condition, of course, but in a different way it will. Let me put down this container and show you how that works. So we're going to have to extend it a bit, lower it, and then toggle the connectors. Click. And then the beauty of this thing is that you can just press 1 and it folds itself up, just like that. And with it folded up, I can easily make it into bay 2, which is the spawn via or the spawn bay of this vehicle. Now I don't have all the required tech for this particular vehicle, but I have enough to work. And that's the key. It works. So what I need to do in the next episode is generate, or rather design, a vehicle that's capable of getting these things connected. So it needs to be a vehicle that's capable of lifting up, or no, sorry, not lifting up. The lifting up is what this thing does, but parking the containers on a train. It is not a cheap crane to use. I'll give you that much. These things will set you back 17,000. So they are pretty expensive. And as you can see, the mass of these is 6,213, which counteracts the mass of what you're trying to lift. If you compare that to my little saved Weirdmobile, my mass was only 1,264, so the vehicle was way too light, and I was just using pistons, whereas the vehicle from the Steam Workshop, the Reach Stacker Container Crane, as you can see, I'm missing a lot. I'm missing an instrument panel, a couple of monitors, a camera, a fluid tank, a heater, and a radio, but enough of the vehicle still maintains to exist. This thing extends presumably a piston. How is it that you're extending this thing? Oh, right, it's a slider. This thing slides along the rail all the way out. And that means that this thing, the grasper, or at least part of the grasper, is a separate part. This is the grasper, which consists of 2 separate parts, or actually even more. These are the main beams. They then expand using these 2. These are, what is it, compact pistons, I think? Or compact rotors. They expand into 2 different parts. And then they connect to an electric collector down there, and similar on the other side. These things expand as well. And that way you have that grappler. So it expands forward and backwards and probably finds a couple of rotators, yeah, in here. Definitely something that would have taken me a long time to build. So I'm very happy that I can just get this thing from the workshop and just design my own train, load up the containers, bring them over to where I need them, offload them, and then I can generate a nice bit of cash. But we're going to be doing that next episode. If this was the last Stormworks episode that you have seen this particular, let's say this season before the Christmas, then a happy Christmas, and I hope you join me the week after it. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you soon for the next episode.